Hey guys, this is part 2 of the more in-depth review of the Socom Gear Barrett. First of all, magazine release. It's very, very confusing. As you can see, mine is at an angle. Very nice. This will keep the magazine very nicely seated. When you receive the gun, the magazine should be in a box. It's kind of a weird magazine. I mean, it's a Vietnam-style M16 magazine. And it's inserted backwards, and the wind is right here with this giant hole, which I think it's kind of weird. I mean, if Socom Gear had the time and patience to make this gun, why couldn't they make their own magazine? I mean, do you know how many BBs this could possibly fit? Maybe like 2,000 to 3,000, maybe even 5,000. I'm not even sure. So, I'm not sure this is good. I'm not even sure how you remove this. I removed this screw and this screw, and that allowed me to move this back and forth. But that didn't work, so I just put it back together. I think you have to remove this plate, which is gonna be a pain. Also, when you stick the magazine in, when you first get the gun, it's gonna look like that, with the magazine released either this way or straight down. That's not supposed to happen. Why? Because you can do this. Just snap it right back out. So what you want to do is to give it a good snap back in and slap it on the back until that magazine release is at an angle. Now let's securely place the magazine into the gun. The hop up is located here. You just simply pull the bolt back. There's your hop up. Just turn it like a normal M4. This metal piece keeps it aligned with the outer barrel, so that's nice. And this spring pushes it into the air nozzle, where you will have a better air seal. Very nice. And racking the bolt, it's just plain fun. It sounds kind of weird when it hits the outer barrel. So you might want to add some rubber to that so you can rack it without damaging it. Oh yes, and the magazine holds 190 rounds. I'm not going to count to be exact, because I'm not going to count that much. So sorry. Now I'm going to talk about the grip, and the trigger, and the selector. The selector is just like any normal M4. Safe, semi, and full auto. I cannot show you this. Sorry, I have to flip the gun. When I first received the gun, I noticed that the grip and the gearbox was very wobbly. Then I found out there was a very good reason why. First of all, on a normal M4 SR25 or M16 AEG, there are a few things that hold the gearbox to the gun. The first thing is the two screws from the grip, which this gun does have. But on an M4, it'll also hold in the gearbox by having this pin right up here, or around here, I'm not sure. And also the magazine release. That's another two things holding it in. Also, another thing holding it in is the rear body pin. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things holding it in. And there's something else. That long screw that holds in the stock to the M4. That's 6 things holding it in. So that gearbox is not going to move. But on the Socom Gear Barrett, only those 2 screws from the grip are holding in the gearbox. So there's going to be a little wobble. That annoyed me, so I fixed it by changing the grip. I changed the grip, and now it's much tighter. The wobble is gone. So that's an easy fix. An easy fix for the buttstock would be adding a couple of washers, but I'm not going to do that because it might cut the rubber. So you're going to have to find some way to fix that. You might want to glue it on, you might want to tape it on or something like that. So, whatever. Also, something else disappointing is this. This indicates if it's on fire or safe. It will not change when you move the selector switch. So that's disappointing. But on most M4s, that doesn't happen. So, maybe they couldn't do it, maybe they could do it, I don't know, don't care. Gun still looks beautiful. Doesn't come with a scope. Like I said, this is a 4 to 16 by 40 scope. It's a decent scope. Not the best. Definitely not the worst. It can be tightened and blah 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 blah. I'm not going to explain the scope since most likely you're not going to have the scope. I bought the scope at Walmart for $70. It was a great deal. The scope looked great. Came with a scope ring, so hell yeah, I bought it. It was illuminated. Come with a lens cap. Everything. Everything you need. So what the fuck? You definitely don't need anything else more. Alright then, let's continue on to the front of the gun. Here is the front. As you can see, it is numbered. Very nice. This is the carry handle. It can be unscrewed and located whatever you want. I put it here since I cannot put it there. The scope is in the way. And the scope rings are too big. So I might get that fixed. This thing, you can move back and forth all you want. And the one thing that's nice about this one, instead of the Snow Wolf, this thing is made out of rubber. And this is made out of steel. It is very nice. And on the Snow Wolf, I heard that the bar only goes like halfway of the grip. So you hold it at the back, it might break. But on this one, it goes back almost all the way in, which is much better. This bar will go all the way in, or almost all the way, and it's very strong. I know I can hold more than the weight of this gun with this carry handle. But if it breaks, if something on the gun breaks, it's not the carry handle's fault. But I doubt the rail will come off of this gun. You'll notice that there are 8 holes here, another 8, 4 on the bottom, and more on the other side. Why? Well, it makes the gun look cool, and it also simulates the real gun. This is the middle body pin. This help keeps in the top receiver. On the Hurricane's Barrett, it doesn't do this. And I'll explain in part 3.